experiences going to Grandma's house as a little child, I hated going to Grandma's house. I hated it. I hated it. I hated it. Now, don't get me wrong. It wasn't as though I didn't love my grandma. I did love my grandma, but there were just some little things about going to her house that I just didn't like. One of those things happened after my experience one Sunday for a Sunday dinner. Now, my grandma's Sunday dinner was fried chicken. Fried chicken with creamy mashed potatoes and that, remember that white creamy gravy that had the chicken chunks and crumbs in it? And then all of the trimmings, fresh from the garden, the sliced tomatoes and the freshly picked green beans, and the corn on the cob. That was my grandma's Sunday dinner. Now, her idea of fried chicken was not cut up pieces of chicken that you go down to the supermarket and get in the plastic wrap, in the little yellow polystyrene foam container. No. My grandma's idea of chicken was go to the barnyard with the gunny sack, capture the chicken, bring it up to the porch, and prepare it. And for the sake of modern day being politically polite, I will not, and for the sake of time, not go into all the gruesome details of how she prepared that chicken. But let's just say that once she had completed that preparation, she had cut pieces of chicken ready to put in a brown sack, coat it with flour and salt and pepper, shook it up good, and put it in all that fat in the frying pan. And oh, that was the best fried chicken. She would have all of that with all of the trimmings ready to serve, and we had it spread out on this big brown table in the dining room. All my family was sitting around, my grandma and my grandpa, my aunts and my uncles, my 2 cousins, myself, and my mom and dad. And we served everything family style and passed everything around in the bowls. There came that part of time in the meal when it was time for seconds. And I really had my heart set on another serving of those creamy mashed potatoes. And I saw the bowl coming around, and I took a spoonful of those mashed potatoes and put it down on my plate. And then I was just drooling for some of that creamy chicken gravy to put on my second serving of potatoes. And I saw that bowl of gravy coming around the table and being passed from one person to the next. And I looked across the table. I could just hardly wait until that bowl of gravy got to me. And I looked over, and the bowl of gravy was coming to my grandma. Well, my grandma was in the process of eating a piece of chicken. She had a leg, and she was munching the final morsels off of this chicken bone and getting every little piece of meat off and just chomping and chewing on it and trying to avoid that little nerve ending that hung out and trying to avoid that little splinter of bone that's on the leg. But she was just going after every little piece on that and had it in her mouth, going after everything. And just then, that bowl of gravy came to her, and she took that chicken leg and plopped it out of her mouth into the bowl of gravy. And she passed the gravy on to the next person. When the bowl of gravy came to me, I quietly and politely passed it along to the next person. I decided for this one occasion, I could get by with a pat of butter on my potatoes instead of the gravy. And, in spite of the fact that I did love my grandma, somehow after that day, and after eating that dinner at Grandma's house, that was one of the things about going down there as a child that I hated ever after that.